Welcome to the She Speaks to Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Julia Kraft, your authentic expression mentor and public speaking coach. She Speaks to Inspire is an empowering public speaking podcast for women with public speaking fear. Unlike other podcasts on public speaking, She Speaks to Inspire not only gives you tips to be a confident communicator under pressure, but also helps you regulate your nervous system for less anxiety, learn lifestyle practices to reduce burnout and overwhelm, and reconnect with your feminine leadership presence for more authenticity and comfort in your skin. I believe it's the quiet ones, especially the quiet women, who have the most important ideas. I believe the world really does need your voice. So let's dive in. We're here today to talk about Upspeak and how to avoid it, also why to avoid it. What is Upspeak? Upspeak is when your voice goes up at the end of a sentence or phrase, as if you're asking a question. Upspeak is about your intonation, about your pitch. We all change the pitch of our voice naturally through our sentences. Different languages have different norms around pitch range. Some languages, it means something different when you have a different pitch on the same word. I can really only speak to American English, though I have worked with British English people and Australians and people from New Zealand, and I've heard how sometimes their intonation is different. With American English, the general expectation is that when you are done with something, when you're done with a thought, done with a topic, that your intonation goes down. Do you hear how my intonation goes down? Do you hear how my intonation goes up? Sometimes we can't even hear the difference because we're so used to things. If you have your intonation going up, a lot of the time at the end of your sentences or phrases, and you're not very aware of it, and it's not on purpose, then it could be labeled as upspeak. I sometimes call it up-lilting as well, because it sounds like a lilt of your voice, right? It goes up as if you're looking for permission. Why do we do upspeak, right? Why does that happen? Well, first of all, it's okay to go up with your pitch if it serves the meaning of what you're saying. A really useful place to go up with your pitch is when you're making a list. There's 3 things I want to talk about today. 1, 2, and 3, right? I up lilt on the first 2, and then I down glide on the last point. 1, 2, and 3. That's a really useful place to use the raise of pitch. Any kind of anticipation that you want to build. It's great to send your pitch upwards in anticipation and then to come down to feel completion. The only place that upspeak becomes a problem is when we use it in a place where you don't want to leave the audience hanging. You actually intend it to be the end, yet you say it in a way that creates this tension of anticipation and leaves people hanging, leaves people wondering, does she know what she's talking about? It's an awkward, uncomfortable feeling as an audience member when someone speaks this way. I find that women do this in large part because they're looking for that permission and affirmation from the outside. It's a somewhat mousy way to check in, like, are you with me? Is this okay? I often hear upspeak happen in the simplest way when women are introducing themselves, which is so unfortunate because an introduction of yourself is one of the most important communication moments. It's the first impression of you. I'll hear women say something like, "Hi, my name is Julia Kraft, and I work at Speak to Inspire Coaching, and I am a product manager there, and yeah, let's get started." You hear it? The voice goes up and up and up. The audience gets more and more anxious, and they don't really hear what you have to say. They're more just hearing the tone. As soon as your intonation goes down, that's when we really hear you. "Hi, my name is Julia Kraft. I'm the founder of Speak to Inspire programs. Hear it? So it's already becoming obvious that down gliding is the antidote to upspeak, right? Down gliding is a way of speaking that requires you to be slow and steady, to be definite and direct. You can choose to down glide with your intonation. Even if you don't feel certain about what you're going to say, you will sound certain. You can down glide to help yourself get closer to feeling more certain. To help yourself with this, be aware as you speak of where would the period be in my sentence. Or in that sentence that I just spoke, it actually would have been a question mark. So where is the end of my sentence? And at the end of your sentence is where the intonation will go down. As you're learning this, you might want to emphasize the end of your sentences, like I'm doing on this podcast episode. I'm really making a point of ending my sentences strong, emphasizing where the period would be, the sense of finality, ending, completion. Get used to that feeling, because if you are doing a lot of upspeak, you're used to the feeling of things always being open-ended and circling around, and maybe it's like rambling and there's a run-on sentence with a lot of commas. Yeah, you're used to that because it's sort of scary to take a stand. But use this technique of down gliding and being aware of where the end of your sentence is to help you speak more directly, more concisely, with more certainty. This is a simple episode where I wanted to address a really common thing, which is upspeak. I hope this was helpful for you. It's definitely something to work on, and it sometimes takes some outside feedback in order to know about yourself. I hope that you won't beat yourself up for doing upspeak and that you'll simply make some small new choices and the next time you see yourself do it. Check out my masterclass. See you in the next episode. Thanks for listening. This has been She Speaks to Inspire with Julia Kraft, your authentic expression mentor and public speaking coach. I'm so glad you joined me. And I hope you got so much out of this episode. If you want to learn more about Speak to Inspire training programs and get inspired, head over to speaktoinspire.com or follow us on Instagram at She Speaks to Inspire. Never forget, the world needs your voice, and it's time for you to speak to inspire. See you in the next episode.